Welcome to today's Facebook Live video. I'm glad everybody is here. We'll be covering a lot of topics as always, so I'm excited to spend some time with everyone today. We had a lot of great questions come in about fall time, about Halloween, life updates, upcoming travel plans, and how all the kids are doing. So as everyone is hopping on here, be sure to comment where you live, where you're from. It's always fun to make those connections. Carla, you are the first person I see on here. Thank you for joining us. And I'm just excited. I look forward to Wednesdays every single week. I do enjoy creating great content for you guys and sharing a portion of what we are up to as a family and a little bit more about my personal life. Jenna Hansen, it's good to see you. She is from Utah. Carla Van Dyke is joining us. Sarah is from Colorado. Hi, Sarah Johnson. And Cheryl, good afternoon from Crestview, Florida. And Linda Cummings is joining as well. It's good to see everybody. Elaine is from Arkansas. It's good to see you on here. Michelle, hey, Jamie from Fort Worth, Texas. And Heather is joining us as well. Okay, so we are just gonna dive on in here before I go and pick up the kids from school today. It has been a rough morning again for my kids as we are getting into the swing of things and morning routines. Sometimes my kids are just a little bit more irritable, so it takes us a minute to get out the door and get going for the day. Diane, it's good to see you. She's from South Carolina, and Lori is joining us from Wisconsin. Hi, Susan. She just hopped on here as well. So every morning is just so very different, raising quintuplets, raising 5 kids that are all the same age. Some mornings the kids are well rested and having a good time, and then other days my kids fight just like any other kids, and they have spats and they don't always get along. And so today was one of those mornings where I was doing 2 of the kids' hair in one room, and then 3 kids got into a disagreement over, I'm not even sure what it was. And so I had like 3 kids arguing about what happened, and we were trying to get out the door. So anyway, sometimes being a mom is just a lot of work, and it was nice when I dropped the kids off at school, got everyone out the door, and gave one of my kids an extra hug that they needed before they went off to school. I seriously just barely showered like an hour ago and got ready for the day because I just needed to rest. Sometimes I'm just super, super tired. So anyway, today is one of those days, so it's nice to finally be up and going with hair and makeup done for the day and just feel alive. So that has been my day. Carol says, I'm glad to see you blossom. Thank you. I think some of us are just slower at blossoming than others, and maybe I am one of those people. Christine is from upstate New York, and Joanne just joined us as well. Joanne, it's good to see you here as well. Okay, so let's dive in with some of these questions that have just come in. Catherine asked, what did Lincoln do with all of his wristbands from the summer? So if you guys have been watching the vlogs, especially over the summer, Lincoln had a collection of wristbands from every time he went somewhere between his dad and I. And so he was just collecting them. So he probably had like 4 or 5 by the end of the summer. And about a couple weeks ago, one of them I know just kind of rotted off his wrist. And so he was really sad. It was just like this tiny string that was all shriveled up. And he was like, Mama, can you tape it? Can you fix it? Can you make it better? It was from my dad. And I was like, buddy, I don't think it's something that I can tape, but we can save it if it's special to you. But I'm sure your dad and I will take you to more fun things where you can collect wristbands. I did attend a football game, the homecoming game of Utah Tech University. So I went to a couple of their football games, and I think they were like VIP passes. And so there were a couple of wristbands that I got from there that I gave to Lincoln. And so now he has a couple of new wristbands that you might see in the vlogs and in my content. And they are like made out of fabric, so they should last a lot longer. But that little boy loves collecting things. Right now, he really loves collecting coins. And so yesterday, I put together these little mason jars as piggy banks, which I'll share in an upcoming story here. But he was really excited to organize all of his little quarters in separate baggies within the glass jar because he likes collecting things that are special to him. And he is always excited when he finds a penny on the ground. So anyway, Lincoln's doing well, and that is what he did with his wristbands. Okay, our next question is from Astrid. Who is right-handed and who is left-handed? Shayden is left-handed, and Lily is left-handed. Everybody else in our family is primarily right-handed. And then little grandma in our extended family is left-handed as well. Somebody asked, how is Shayden? What has he been up to? How is school going? He's doing really well. We were supposed to talk today at 12 o'clock and he totally forgot. So I got to call him later and say, dude, I was excited to hear your voice. So he is doing good. He got to play in his last soccer game, which we weren't sure if he was going to be able to play or not because he injured his ankle. He did play, and so the coach said he can play in the next couple games. And he did really good. Tatum and his good friend Josh, if you guys watched the vlog where Shayden traveled outside the country to Norway, Josh's family is from Norway. And so he got to have Tatum and Josh drive up from northern Utah to Wyoming to watch him play. So I'm excited because in a couple weeks I'm going to go watch Shayden play in 2 soccer games up there in Wyoming. So I'm really excited, looking forward to that. And he's just doing really well. He's kind of got the hang of school now and he's just getting his generals in. He's enjoying his classes, some of his professors and teachers, and he still misses his family. So I love that. How is Landon doing was the next question. Landon's doing really well. He is back involved in soccer, so he has soccer games that are up and coming. He's having a good time doing that. He is transitioning into wanting to eat a little bit healthier, so it's been fun to make recipes together like salmon. He really loves the salmon recipe I make. He's a foodie, so it's just fun to bake and cook, and he's been talking about missing some of the things that I've been baking, so he's excited to get back into the fall season and to be baking and cooking again as a family. He really is just a one-of-a-kind and sweet, sensitive kid. He really is good. Kathy is joining us. Thank you for sharing with all of us. You're welcome. I hope that you feel joy from watching these videos and feeling like you're a part of our family in a small way. I hope that brings joy to your home. I know it does mine, the ups and downs of parenthood, and I'm grateful to share it with all of you. So Landon's doing good. He really, really loves choir and being involved in the choir program. So that's been really fun to see him get so excited. I know that he went out to Tuacahn with his dad. Here in Southern Utah, and Tuacahn is what we call Broadway in the desert. So they will fly a lot of people out here that are off Broadway. One gal that was from California starred in Anastasia. She's really talented, and she played Anna over at Disney. So she's really talented. And that's really something that we enjoy doing. Every once in a while, we get the opportunity to go and watch that. So Landon really loves music, the arts, and soccer right now. Good friends and good food. So he's doing really well. The next question is from Tammy. She says, back to school transitions can be very tiring. And I wondered if you keep the quintuplets on a mealtime and bedtime schedule to help keep everybody regulated. I do. Bedtime is 7:30 in our home. And we eat at 5:30. If we eat past 5:30, my kids start to get irritable. So I try and be as consistent as I can with those times. But as always, we have to have the ability to adapt to change as a family. And as these kids grow and develop, learn new things, there has to be room for flexibility. And so as of late, we're at the tail end of summer, heading into fall. We have people joining us from Austria. Sunny, that's really cool. I'm glad you said that's where you're joining us from. That's really cool. Shayden has some roommates from Germany and some other countries, so it's been really fun to learn a little bit more about different cultures. So anyway, we were talking about back to school transitions. So now that we're incorporating homework into our routine and healthy snacks and play when they first come home from school, and just the kids needing a moment to rest after being at school, whatever which way that looks for them, whether it's playing outside, whether that's building something or coloring, it just takes extra time to sink into that new school routine. So we are still getting the hang of it and our new space. So the kids have been going to bed a little bit later as of late, probably between 8 and 8:30, but ideally it's 7:30. And that's mainly just because they've all needed that extra time with homework and with making those adjustments. So it is going good. I find that if my kids stay up later, they're a little bit more irritable the next morning some nights. And so we try and stay as consistent as we can. But we also like to get out and do new things, like go to the park or explore, those kinds of things. And so some nights, it's just not possible to hit that 7:30 mark. And so with my older boys, we were pretty consistent as parents, my co-parent and I, Skylar. And the kids would go to bed at about 7:30 unless we had something come up. So Netta is joining us from Austin, Texas, and Kimberly just joined us as well. Welcome, everybody. Okay, our next question is from Tabitha. She asks, what are your favorite fall recipes and meals to make? I find that during this transition time between like summer to fall, I just naturally start craving foods like soups and cornbread and things that just bring like the warmth and bring us together as a family. Marja is joining us from the Netherlands. Welcome. And Wendy is tuning in. It's so fun to see where everybody lives. We've got Maria joining us from the Bronx. Welcome. And Jackie is from Lincoln, Nebraska. That is a great name. Priscilla, it's good to see you on here as well. So I am getting into that season also where I want to bake. Anything like pumpkin, cream cheese, and spice, I'm really excited to cook. And the person I'm dating, as you guys know, Chad, he owned his own like soda shop and bakery. And so I'll be curious to try some of the recipes that he's made. He makes really good homemade Oreos, he said. I don't know if I'm gonna like them or not, but it's worth trying. So I'm excited to bake together as a family, make cookies with my kids, that sort of thing. I know getting my kids involved in meal prep, meal planning, that sort of thing, they're more likely to eat what we make. But again, we do have food allergies. So there are sensitivities there when it comes to what we can make as a family that everybody can have. Sometimes we do have to make variations. Okay, Irene asks, I heard a piece on the radio about Utah's dirty soda. I had never heard of this. Are you familiar with it? Yes, so Utah is known for their dirty sodas. And for those of you that live in Utah or Southern Utah, you're gonna know that some of these drinks did originate in St. George, Utah. So one of my neighbors created a soda shop called Swig. And she came up with these just different recipes. The one she's probably referencing is what we call a dirty Dr. Pepper or like a dirty Coke. And what that is like a soda pop where we add coconut, lime, splashes of different purees like raspberry. So anyway, we have these different sodas here. There's now spin-offs like Fizz, but there's lots of Swigs now throughout Northern Utah as well. But they did originate here in Southern Utah, which I'm really proud to say. And it's really good. So if you've never tried it, it's called a Dirty Dr. Pepper. I'm sure if you hop on Pinterest or Google, like you could find a recipe. But it's pretty much just like a can of your favorite soda with coconut and cream. Jenna Hansen's right on. Yep, coconut and cream. Sometimes we add lime or raspberry or strawberry puree, and it just is so good. I actually had me a soda this morning. It was really good. Okay, Stacy asks, how many cameras were used when filming the Dino Car Wash vlog? One camera was used, but I am needing a new camera. I don't know if you guys have noticed that with some of my filming, but it's a little bit splotchy and the images aren't clear. I have dropped my camera so many times. I didn't know they had a Swig in Arizona. I'm excited. I'm actually going to be traveling to Arizona over the weekend with the kids for some family stuff, which I'll be talking about in a minute. So I didn't know that they had Swigs in Arizona. I'm excited to stop by and try one of those there. What was I talking about? Can't even remember. Oh, how many cameras? So yeah, so during the Dino Car Wash, I was switching off. Sometimes I have a clearer image if I use cinematic on my phone, on my camera, to get a clearer image. And then also the lighting looks different depending on what angle I film with my camera. And I find that I actually have really great lighting this section of my home and when I'm in my car. So that's why sometimes I film and it looks a little bit different. Somebody just said, we have a swig in Missouri. I did not know that they were outside of Utah. This is cool. We have some swigs in Dallas, Fort Worth, and you love it. Chris, I didn't know it was so expansive. Here I am in my own little world thinking they were just in Utah. Yeah, so swig is really good. Their cookies are really good. One of my other friends kind of helped come up with these recipes. They used to sell cupcakes and they used to sell cookies, and she used to sell these to Swig, and they would sell these versions. But they're really good. I really love from Swig a diet dirty Dr. Pepper with an extra shot of cream, and I really love their pink sugar cookies. So if you ever passing through St. George, Utah, or I guess these other places now that have Swig, that's what I get every single time. And as Rachel says, try it. It is so good. It is. I love it. It's so good. Okay. Catherine asks, have you connected with other parents of multiples that have 3 or more multiples at the same time? So we're talking higher order multiples, people with twins, people with triplets. I have had several friends that have had twins. I've also had a friend that had triplets, and I remember thinking that gal was a saint. Like, I could never. Okay, when you guys send me the stars, I never know what's gonna happen with these, so I hope you enjoy this sweet little video of my face right now. So my friend had triplets. She had infertility like me, polycystic ovary syndrome. She did infertility treatments and was surprised to find out she was pregnant with triplets. She had 2 boys and 1 girl. And so when I told her I was pregnant with quintuplets, I think she laughed and she was like, you can do it. Anyway, so I have connected through Facebook groups and through word of mouth with other people that have high order multiples. I have a friend in northern Utah that had quadruplets, and she already had 3 children, trying to add a 4th child to their family. And she and I are really close. Heather Staley, she's wonderful. You can check her out on Instagram at Staley Quad Squad. She's wonderful, down to earth, easygoing, and we're able to talk about parenting and navigating sometimes even the hardships of raising higher order multiples and giving time to all 7 of your kids. And it's fascinating to me how other families do it and how they do it and how they communicate together as a couple. So just lots of things that I learned from her. She's fabulous. And then I also have another friend in Eagle, Idaho that had quintuplets like me, and she as well already had 2 kids and wanted to add just a 3rd child to her family. And so anyway, I'm able to bounce ideas off in navigating parenting a large family with both of these families and both of these gals. So we all just kind of check in with each other at times. Usually when school's starting back up, we always think of each other. And then usually when Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays, birthdays come around, we shoot each other a text or a phone call. And so it's just so fun to catch up and see what we have in common, see those differences. And developmentally, our kids are all about the same age. And so it's fun to see how everybody's doing and what we have in common. And sometimes we need a good cry and sometimes we need a good laugh as women. And so I'm so grateful for that support system with those gals too. They're wonderful. I also have connections with people in Texas that have high order multiples. And then a gal in Wyoming that originally was pregnant with quintuplets. She has experienced a lot of loss, both through pregnancies, and then one of her children did pass away. And so every once in a while we catch up too. These women are just incredible, what they're willing to go through to get their children here with infertility, with loss, with having higher order multiples. And they really are just inspiring women to me the more I hear their stories. So anyway, that's been really fun to connect with them. And to actually see each other in person is like, it makes you feel not so alone. I think when you have higher order multiples, like that I don't know, it's just like this very hopeful feeling is comforting to me. Okay, Carla asks, would you recommend moving to St. George, Utah? We are from Indiana and are sick of the cold weather. So I would say post-COVID, we have had a ton of people move to Southern Utah, specifically St. George, Utah. especially when schools were closed. We had a lot of Californians move in, and then a lot of people from northern Utah that were sick of the weather as well, who moved to southern Utah. So we have had just this surge of people come to southern Utah because they love the weather. They love that it's still close to Las Vegas, where there's fun things to do there. So a lot of people travel there, or to Salt Lake City, because there's fun things to do in these bigger cities as well. It has a really good community feel. There is an appreciation of family here in southern Utah, in this community specifically. There's an appreciation for senior citizens and the need for organized religion. We have a lot of different restaurants that have come to southern Utah, and so with that, we've had more diversity from people that work in some of these restaurants. So I love seeing that. I love seeing the culture change a bit more than where it's historically been, because it was originally settled by Mormon pioneers. And so we do have this deep history and heritage. Moving to southern Utah, I became very much aware of this, of various families that are very proud of their heritage that help settle this community. But it's nice to see, in some ways, outsiders come and bring their ideas and their sense of culture and diversity to our town. So that's really been wonderful. And then we also have things like Ironman, big events like Ironman. We had PGA Tour coming up. I'll be attending that pro golf tournament next week, so I'll be attending a portion of that. And so it brings a lot of tourism into our community. And so it's just fun to have different people, different cultures come and bring what they have into our town. So would I recommend moving to southern Utah? Hands down, absolutely yes. I would say the cost of living is higher than some other places. And job opportunities are a little bit different. But I do live in St. George. I do love it. It has great year-round weather. It is not as hot as Las Vegas, and it is not as hot as Phoenix. I was born in Phoenix, grew up there, spent half my childhood there, half my childhood in Las Vegas, Nevada, and moved here at age 13 to complete the rest of my childhood. I had a great experience. I did have to learn the culture when I moved here, because it is definitely different than Las Vegas, Nevada. But I have loved it, and I have made some really great lifelong friends in this great community. It is where I met my husband at the time. We're not married anymore, as you guys know, but that's where I met Skylar, was during college, attending school here. So Carla, hope I answered that question for you. We had a lot of questions come in about dating, so I am happy to answer some of those here. Amy says, just been to Vegas on my honeymoon, 100 degrees every day. Amy, happy honeymoon. I spent, I think, my first day being married on our way to Disneyland for our honeymoon in Las Vegas, and it was hot in July when we got married too, I remember. Okay, our first question about dating in the dating category is from Jenna. Is Chad going to hop on a Facebook Live? He would love to. It's probably going to be a couple weeks, because he is super busy with PGA Tour stuff coming up. So he's just been busy with that. Stephanie asks, what's your favorite quality about him? If I had to say one word to summarize him, I would say my favorite quality is kind. If that summed up one word about him, I'd say the word kind. Somebody said, I moved to Vegas, to Maple Valley, Washington. Don't miss it at all. I have never been to Maple Valley, Washington. I have been to various cities throughout Washington, and I love it there. Would I move back there? Yes, depending on the community. I really want a family-friendly community that really values morality and important things that I want to teach and instill in my kids. I know there's different communities that prioritize different things, but I do miss living in Washington State. It was beautiful. It was green. The Northwest just has a lot of great things about it and a lot of great people. But I do love living in Southern Utah. Okay, Linda asks, are you and Chad getting serious? Hope he will join you sometime on a live video. We are seriously talking about important topics, if that is your question. So yes, I would say yes to that question. Junie asks, how many kids does he have? He has 3 kids, a 21-year-old daughter who is wonderful. Hi from Anaheim, California. You mentioned Chad was on a business trip in Anaheim. Yes, he was recently in Anaheim last week for business opportunity thing for the county. So yes, he was there. So Chad has 3 kids, 21-year-old daughter. She's in her last semester, going to school here at Utah Tech. And he has a 16-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son. So really great kids. Paige asks, what does he do for a living? He works with athletes and tourism in Southern Utah. Jenny asked, do you let him discipline the kids? No, but he does remind the kids in support of me of what the rules are of our home at times. So if the kids are having a disagreement or arguing, he's very patient. That's the other thing I really like about him. He's super patient with my kids. And he teaches. He takes those moments for teaching. And I really like that. Carol asked, do you think the kids are ready for either parent to remarry? I think they will be in time. And so honestly, I think for me with my relationship, it's just going to take time to get to know someone in all seasons. Angela asked, how's everyone adjusting with him and his family and your new lifestyle? So my kids are getting the hang of him coming and visiting our house after work. Somebody said kindness is the best quality. Martha, I completely agree with you on that. And my kids are getting to know his family and his extended family. So they've had a few interactions. His oldest daughter babysat the quintuplets. Connie is from Spring, Texas. Connie, I have actually been to Spring, Texas, and I was considering moving either there or Waco about 4 years ago. Spring, Texas is beautiful. Just saying. I loved the people there in Spring, Texas while I was there. And then as far as commenting on new lifestyle, my lifestyle is the same. And I just want to clarify, Chad and I do not live together. So if anybody was wondering that, he is showing up a little more frequently in our vlogs, and that is because I am really taking the time to get to know him in all seasons. He comes over after work and he goes home at night to his place. So just wanted to clarify that for anybody that was curious about that. We have separate places that we stay. So yeah, I think everyone is just getting the hang of each other. And then somebody asked, what does your dream wedding look like? I think when I choose to remarry whomever it is, I had the big wedding the first go around, and it was a wonderful, beautiful wedding and celebration. I think this go around, I really just want the focus to be about family and honoring each of the family members and whoever I choose to marry, my commitment to my spouse and their commitment to me. And so as far as like venues, as far as all of that, have I looked at things like that? I have. Yes, I have. I just want something simple. I think the blending of 2 families, whomever I choose, will likely have a family. And so those are things that I am looking at right now. I'll just say that. So things are good. And I am very, very happy and just very, very grateful to have found somebody so very kind to me, that loves me and loves my kids and sees them as individuals and the unique, special people that each of them are, all 7, notices what their needs are and helps and wants to help in meeting those needs for each of the kids. Somebody just said that's what they did with their second husband. So as far as like my dream wedding, I want to be married in a temple of my faith. There are 2 temples here in Southern Utah. I think the Red Cliffs Temple and the St. George Temple, they did have an open house that was open to the public before it was dedicated. And so I just really value family. And so my dream wedding is to get married in the temple and then just to have like a simple luncheon with a smaller group of people that are close to me that I love. And I've always been close to my extended family, like cousins and aunts and uncles. Will you share the wedding with us? I don't know. I think some of it, yes. And then some of it, obviously we can't film inside a temple because temples historically are sacred spaces for people. So I don't know if I'm telling you guys too much, but I'm just processing a lot right now of how I think and how I feel, but I just want to give it more time. So anyway, yeah, I just want a celebration of the people I love in my life and that I care about. And so I think some extended family will be invited to that, and very, very close friends of mine will be there in attendance. So yeah, I am thinking about those things. So anyway, we are doing well over here. The kids are doing well. We will be traveling over the weekend to Glendale, Phoenix, Arizona area. I had a great uncle that passed away that was one of those people in his community that really made a difference and added value to the community, both as a person, but also his contributions to his community. And so we are really close in our extended family with second cousins and great aunts and great uncles, and we belong to various religions and faiths. And so it's really fun to come together as a family and celebrate this person that we loved. So my Uncle John, my great Uncle John, he played professional football. And with a portion of that money, he purchased a ranch. So he had acres and acres of farmland, which were very much a part of my aunts and uncles and my own dad's childhood, working on the ranch, hard work in the hot sun of the Phoenix Valley. Rosemary Smith, it is good to see you. I don't know if we're related or not, but my great uncle's last name was Smith. His name was John Smith, and he was super sweet. And I remember we would gather together as extended family about once a year. Growing up as a little girl, we would have these big family barbecues and I remember being 4 years old and like vivid memories of gathering with my family, where they would do, I don't know if it was pork or roast or what they made, but they would make this deep pit and then they would cook it in the ground somehow. I don't remember how they did this because I was really little. I remember the smell of pork and beans. I remember people laughing and hugging and smiling and making those connections. And I remember seeing people that were familiar to me somehow because they reminded me of some of my own cousins or my dad, mannerisms, looks. It's just so fun to make those connections with family. And I know having quintuplets, when I delivered them in the Phoenix Valley area, I was able to have some of those family members come and visit me. And so I'm really excited to see them again. And instead of a funeral, they wanted to do a celebration of life. And I really love that thought. I really love that idea of celebrating all the goodness that that person created during their time on earth. One thing I do want to say about my own belief system, I do believe that families can be together forever and that we will see our loved ones again. And so that honestly brings me a lot of peace, knowing that I'll get to see him again and that life doesn't end just after death. And that's a beautiful concept to me. I know when my water broke with the kids, that was something that brought me a lot of hope, is knowing however it looked, that those children were mine. No matter what, they would be mine and they would be their dad's, whether I got to raise them in this lifetime or the next. And so I really, really love that, that families can be together forever. So anyway, I'm just excited to see these extended families. Do I remember all their names? No. How often do we get together? It's gonna probably be a little bit different now because this ranch was kind of a place where all the family would come together. And as part of my heritage, we had a great, I think, was she my great-great-grandmother who was Native American. And so a lot of us celebrate our heritage when we gather together, that Native American heritage that we still have, that we are so very proud of, the cowboys and the hard work and all of it. And so anyway, I'm just really excited to see these extended family members. Will also be getting together with my personal aunt and uncle, and my cousins whom I love. We have a lot of the same body types, mannerisms, things like that. Our kids remind me of each other at times. And so the quintuplets are really excited to go play with what they call their cousins. They're actually their second cousins. And these family members specifically were very much a part of our NICU journey and coming and helping and holding babies. And so my kids just feel very connected to them, even though they can't quite remember their names. So we're really excited. Is your family registered Native American? I am not. I thought I was 1/16th Cherokee my entire life until I just realized I'm actually 1/32nd. So anyway, I'm very proud of that Native American heritage, Cherokee, Choctaw, and Chickasaw, mainly Cherokee. I had family that lived in Texas for a long time and then came to Arizona early. So it's that side of that family that we'll be gathering together with. Now, Skylar, my kid's dad, does have a Native American card that he's registered with. He is a part of the Lumbee tribe, and they originated more, I think, out of, I don't know, is it the south part of the United States? I'm not sure. The Lumbee tribe, they were also, I think, Cherokee, combination of both. And Skylar, I think, is like either a 4th or an 8th Native American. So that was really fun to learn about that. So that's another portion. I have a lot of ancestors, pioneer ancestors that helped settle northern Utah, and then I have my Native American heritage from my dad's side of the family. So really, really cool. If you guys have any questions now, I am happy to take them before I run and pick up the kids. I know I covered a lot of topics. A lot of things that we are up to. Oh, I did want to show you. So I haven't talked about how we are going to be starting homework. So my kids come home with these lovely little packets. They each have their own. I love the school system of how organized they are, especially for me having quintuplets. So each of the kids have their own little bag that they bring home, and this is what they call the take-home library. So the kids are in 1st grade, and this looks like this is Logan's. And so as they read a book, they fill out, or I'm supposed to initial once they've read the book. And so hopefully they fill up this whole thing. And then they are given 2 books a week that they need to work on, and they're supposed to read these like 3 times every single week and return them on Fridays. So I have done 3 of the kids. I need to do 2 more of the kids. And I spent time with Lincoln, Daisy, and Lily, and each of the kids are so very different in the way they learn. And so it's been fun to see them read a book and learn these new words and be so proud of it. Like right now they're really excited because they can recognize the word because, and that's a really big word. And so it's just fun when they understand what they just read too, making those connections. And so I'm just really grateful to the teachers. Hats off to all the teachers out there, especially you gals that are going to be watching this. I know one gal sent me a DM and said, hey, I'll be missing the Facebook Live because I'll be teaching, but I'm really excited to go back and watch it. Teachers are amazing. They're organized. They have tools of how to teach our kids in the different ways that they learn, and they also have like a reward system that my kids look forward to. So every Friday, my kids are able to earn either a point system. Every classroom is doing it differently for the quintuplets, but they get to pick out like a little reward or a little prize or a little treat just about every Friday. And so they are excited and looking forward to what they call Fun Fridays. So we are starting to incorporate that into our home here. As far as like a behavior chart of staying on task and staying focused with the task at hand. So anyway, Katie finally made it to a Facebook Live. Welcome. So anyway, the kids are doing good. It's really fun to see them make those connections. I had a question just barely come in. I'm a kindergarten teacher for the past 23 years. That is amazing. That was originally what I wanted to go to school for, was to be a kindergarten teacher. Sarah, you guys are asking about Halloween costumes. You always do such a great job. This year, I want to ask the teachers what they would, or not the teachers, the kids what they would like to be, but it's got to be affordable. Some of the kids want to be something that they have already been before because they want to dress up and wear that. My kids will, sorry, I had one of my kids calling me, so I will get back to Landon here in just 1 minute. He's probably calling to see if he can hang out with his cousin, is likely what that question is about. So Halloween costumes have yet to be determined. I do have a few ideas. I think the kids are going to be excited about that. Every year, we have kind of chosen a theme for our family. So we may or may not do that this year. Somebody just said, Karen just said, I used to love reading with my 3 boys. Yes, I love that time where you just bond with your kid and you get that one-on-one time with them. It's really special to me. So I really do love that. Yeah, so we are looking at Halloween. They'll be trick-or-treating with their dad this year for Halloween. It's his turn and time with the kids. But I will have the kids that week. So we did get invited to 2 Halloween parties. One that we always celebrate at Grandma and Grandpa Smith's. Chad will be coming along to that as well. So we might do like a couple's costume. I don't know, but I think we're on different pages with what we might want to be. So we will see. It's yet to be determined. The kids are excited to dress up. And then we got invited to our old neighborhood's Halloween party. And I'm really excited about that. I loved living in that neighborhood. Something you guys might not have known is the first 3 houses we lived in were in that neighborhood. So we didn't move too far away. And the last house that was the marital home that we sold actually faced our original house that we brought the babies home to. So to me, it's nostalgic. I love seeing my people. Every place I've lived, I always love my neighbors. I always love the people I live next to. So I'm excited to go back to that and see some of those people. So anyway, we are doing well. I'm going to get back to Landon since I just missed his phone call. And I love you all. Enjoy this beautiful October fall season. We are so excited in our home for fall, and my kids can't stop drawing pictures and talking about Halloween. So I will catch you guys our next vlog, our next live. Love all of you so very much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.